I've been a Cardinals fan probably since I was in middle school.
Since I was, pretty much since I was born, I knew the Cardinals lineup before I knew my own dress.
My granddaddy raised me right.
Cardinals fan as long as I could walk.
I've been a Cardinals fan probably since I was in middle school.
Since I was, pretty much since I was born, I knew the Cardinals lineup before I knew my own dress.
My granddaddy raised me right.
Well, in Cincinnati, winning that first game, he has a career mark of 7-1, ERA under 2 in 15 games, 9 starts versus the Astros. And as you said, without Berkman, Big Carlos Lee does not have an RBI. This team is really struggling to score runs.
Let's meet the Cardinals defensively on It's been at it a long time, but I'll tell you what, he still has butterflies and gets fired up for these games, huh?
Oh, absolutely. That's why any talk of him moving upstairs, I think, is a bit premature.
Just a sea of red here in St. Louis. future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols, who's had good numbers in the home opener throughout the years. Now in his 10th season with the Cardinals.
The way Wandy Rodriguez has controlled Albert. Like $1.60.
And the first pitch is taken for a strike. Michael Bourne hits him the left side. Runs, 1 RBI. And coming off a breakout season a year ago. Remember, he's a former Phil. Hit .285 last year. Had 61 steals, and that led the National League. He also won the Gold Glove in center field. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Little nubber that's foul.
David Freese playing in a little bit off the line, but goes foul. You really want to keep Michael Bourne off the bases. He's not going to hurt you with a long ball. So
game time temperature is 79 degrees. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wainwright coming off a win against Cincinnati. His first time out, working from that first base side of the rubber. 2-2 pitch. Apparently the Cardinals will not face Lance Berkman. So that's a big bat that the Cardinals don't face early on.
That's right. Matter of fact, he's still in Houston working out with therapists there.
2-2 is slapped foul.
Berkman, their outstanding hitter, had knee surgery during spring training.
Now those two, Lee and Berkman, since 2006 apiece have had 42 RBIs against the Cardinals. So that's 84 RBIs since 2006 out of their lineup, or at least with Lee struggling. There's the breaking ball. Brandon Ryan, nice play. Got it. No, they're going to say he was safe.
A nice play by Brendan Ryan. He did everything he could. To the naked eye, it sure looked like he was out at first base. Emil, our first base coach, didn't agree. Shocked that he was safe.
Brings in their shortstop. Manzella is hitting .286. So Molina could get a test here with Michael Bourne over there at first base. Big lead at first.
Not scoring runs, you almost have to push the envelope and try and do whatever you can.
They have a new manager over there. That's Brad Mills, a 53-year-old former Major League player with 30 years of experience in pro ball.
Manzella is, in the early season, has hit over 400 against left-handed pitching, but just 1 for 7 against righties. Regarded really as a very good defensive player.
There for a strike.
Talk about that big lead over there. Sometimes a base stealer would take a bigger lead when he's not going.
Wainwright, 1-1. Cardinals won the season series against Houston a year ago. By Molina, look at that. Oh, they're going to say he's safe. Another bang-bang play. It looked like the tag may not have been there. I'm sure we'll get a good look at it. Stolen base for Michael Bourne.
And throw up in front. reason why they have not been scoring.
Exmo Cam brought to you by Plaza Tire Service. Bunting here, and that's bunted foul. It's a 2-2. Boy, is that an indication that you're struggling when you're in the first inning and you're bunting, knowing that you're not hitting the ball that well, you're not generating runs, and also you're going against Wainwright. All three of those things play into that.
All right, they're 0-6. Yesterday, Arizona in one inning scored 13 runs. The Astros have scored a total of 12 runs in the early season.
Roy Halladay, they saw him yesterday, and he struck out 8 Stros.
Yeah, that's really fair, isn't it?
Yeah. Arguably the best pitcher in the game. The 2-2. Hit back to Wainwright. He'll look back Bourne. And there's one away.
They have really faced, but like 4 Cy Young Award winners, and I think Wainwright they're considering the Cy Young Award winner. Should have won it.
And Feliz is dropped, so they're going to go here with the All-Star from a year ago, Hunter Pence. Last year we saw breaking ball after breaking ball with Hunter Pence.
Well, he still hit 282 with 25 home runs, but Carpenter and all the Cardinals, you could tell that they really tried to throw a lot of breaking balls.
1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. They say this is kind of the new face of their franchise. Good numbers against Wainwright. 9 for 26. With Berkman aging a little bit, Oswalt unsure about his future after his contract is up. No Biggio or Bagwell. Foul back.
Pence, like last season, got up to a slow start, batting under 100. He did his first home run, a 2-run shot on Saturday. He's had back-to-back 25 games series. See the outfield kind of shading a little bit to left, talking about how he pulls off pitches.
Hits it in the air to right field. Ludwig under it. Makes the catch. Bourne will tag up. And it'll be a runner at third with 2 outs. So it has been a struggle.
It's a National League with his 8 walks, and the Cardinals have a Major League high 12 home runs in the young season.
Here's Carlos Lee. 100 RBIs in each of his last 5 years, but as Al told you, he's still looking for that first ribby. 3 for 23 to begin the season, 130 average. Brendan Ryan is about 5 yards back on the outfield grass. Cardinals shortstop, that's a strike, 0-2.
Mislocation a little bit, but lead in swing at it. Carlos, if you go back to last season, he's had 10 straight games without recording an RBI. Come with a breaking ball again.
One and 2. So 1 for 20 against Wainwright, and Wainwright maybe the toughest guy in this lineup for him. He's Hunter Pence, and he got him the first time to fly to right. Switch hitting. Jeff Blum is on deck. 2-2. Cubs, their opener, bottom of the 6th. They lead Milwaukee. Got him. First strikeout for Wainwright. Albert Pujols coming up third when we return. Schumacher. Skip has his average up to 273 after a slow series in Cincinnati, and he slaps that out of play. Wandy Rodriguez. This guy is very tough. He's 0-1 with 6 innings in his first start, but he has had 10 or more wins in the last 5 years.
Go back to that. He leads all National League left-handers in wins.
Schumacher out to right. Pitts coming in. He won't get it. It's a base hit. Always good to see Skip do that against a lefty. Last week, it was Ludwig who was dropped down in the lineup, and Brendan Ryan was at that 2 spot, but over the weekend, Tony wanted to shuffle it up, and he has done so here with Ryan Ludwig.
And I think he's going to see Ryan in that 2 hole for quite a while. And then if you have a lefty in the mound today.
Ludwig base hit into left.
And we'll get lefty, you get Molina up.
The battery, Rodriguez and Quintero. First 2 hitters on the first pitch from Rodriguez went right after that. That might be an indication of the game plan going against Wandy Rodriguez.
Well, we'll have to see. You see good numbers for Albert, but for whatever reason, he just does not hit this little lefty. Only a 161 average. Soriano is the only one that has a worse average than Albert against Wandy Rodriguez. I'll bet on Albert.
Pujols looks at a strike, and to follow up that point, this is how good Albert Pujols is. The next lowest average against a pitcher is against Carlos Zambrano, and that's at 262 for Pujols. Oh, and 2. Let's go to our pitch tracks and take a look at the pitches to Schumacher and Ludwig.
Set up away, leaves the breaking ball a little bit inside. And then another ball up out over the plate. Talking with Mark McGuire, he felt that Wandy will pitch on both sides, but a lot of hits will be out over the middle of the plate.
Pujols chops it left side, but a foul ball. So there's what you're talking about against his lefty. He's 5 for 31 with a strikeout, 161 average. Pujols on the home opener is a .414 hitter this time here in St. Louis. Albert, base hit in the left. Schumacher being waved in. He will score. Now Ludwig caught in the rundown, and Pujols will wind up at second base. Ludwig will be tagged out, and Albert picks up the RBI. And already with 11 so far, and it's 1-0 Cardinals.
I'm sure Ludwig just thought that Carlos Lee, who does not have a strong throwing arm, is going to try and go all the way to the plate. Get up on top of that ball, hammers it. It goes through on the left side. Schumacher being waved home with the weak throwing, but you saw Kendall trying to hold up Ludwig. The throw does not come home, and they get Ludwig in a rundown, and Albert alertly goes to second base, putting himself in scoring position.
So Pujols gets the RBI now with 11. The play goes 7-5-4-5. And here is Matt Holliday, the runner at second base. He's got 4 extra base hits against Rodriguez in his career.
Trying to do a little bit too much on Ludwig. Cardinals should not have an out.
Cardinals slugger is 11 for 26, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs.
Last night, looked like Trevor Hoffman was going to post another save, and Albert hit a 2-run home run, down by 1, and then Holliday steps up and smokes one to center. is not a win that Trevor Hoffman is going to enjoy.
He even said afterwards, he said, I'm embarrassed by my performance and what I've been doing. Nick Stavanoa connected on a home run on Friday night.
2 outs, 2 strikes, went down, got a change up that was on his shoe tops. Almost put down a knee on the ground, swinging at it and lifting it for the game winner.
Should mention the Cardinals will have a short bench today, and Nick Stavanoa is your backup catcher because Jason LaRue for Tony La Russa is out today, and he may miss the better part of this homestand with a hamstring issue, but he is definitely out of the ball game today.
Stavanoa listed as the emergency catcher, and he went back behind the plate, and the first pitch he looked like a first-class Gold Glover snagging a breaking ball.
This is hit to short. Manzella retires Holiday, and Pujols remains at second. So 2 away, and it brings in Yadier Molina. And Molina has given the Cardinals another bat in this lineup. And in this spot, he is going to get RBI chances. If you hit behind Pujols and Holiday, those guys are going to get on base an awful lot. Molina has moved to that 5 spot. And even Mark McGwire was saying it wouldn't be shocking to see at the end of the season a guy like Molina have 70 to 80 driven in if he's in this spot.
Well, we've always talked about it when an RBI, that he's a very solid guy in that RBI, but he really hasn't hit. His career high is like 56. If there's a lefty on the mound, you put Molina in the 5th spot. If there's a righty, I think Molina hits behind Rasmus, who would hit in the 5th spot.
Molina already with a couple of home runs. He had the grand slam on opening day. Added another over the weekend, 7 RBIs. 0-1 pitch. In the air out to left. Lee shading from the sun. And he's got it. Pujols gives the Cardinals an early lead. 1-0 after 1. Plaza of Champions, and of course the big, huge Musial statue that's out there that's been there for years. Moved from the old Busch Stadium. Our Toyota keys to the game, the career of Adam Wainwright against the Stros, and it's a good one.
Anytime you have win 7 out of 8, you have an ERA under 2.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
In a way, the Cardinals get the 1 run, but let Rodriguez off the hook there in the first inning, similar to what we saw with Randy Wolf last night.
Exactly right. 3 straight hits. You run yourself into an out, and then you can't add on. But Wainwright, who had a better ERA last season here at home, But he did all his wins on the road.
Jeff Blum is at first base today. With Berkman out, he's a valuable guy. He's a switch hitter. He can play short. He can play third, even a little second if need be. And today he's over at first base. 2 balls and 1 strike. Just underway here in the top of the second. In the air out to center, Colby Rasmus. What a start that Colby is off to in the first week of his sophomore season. Not too late to get a 2010 season ticket plan. You can choose from full season, 40-game or 27-game plans. And each plan includes a hefty discount off the gate price, plus lots of additional perks. For details, visit Cardinals.com today. And we should mention that Wednesday night here at the ballpark is a half-price night. Brad Penny will make his home debut.
It's worth the price of admission right there. If he pitches anywhere like he did in Cincinnati, we got something.
It's sharply past Brendan Ryan and into left field. Southwest pitch tracks. Let's take a look at where Feliz went to get this.
He's down the bottom of the zone. He drops a bat head and gets it through on the left side with Philadelphia last year. Nice couple seasons.
Yep. Kaz Matsui. Matsui also a switch hitter. We got Bourne, who hits from the left side, and 2 switch hitters with Blum and Matsui, their second baseman. So Freese is in over at third base, and that's a strike on the outside corner. Matsui hitting an even 200. When he first came to the United States, he was supposed to be, just an unbelievable defensive player and shortstop, and the Mets found out right away his range wasn't quite where they expected it. He wasn't quite the player that they thought either.
A lot of times you could have a really good fielding percentage if you have no range.
That may have been the case. And they also had a guy come up, young, exciting Jose Reyes.
Yes. That'll move most players.
And Reyes initially started at second, then they flip-flopped. Here's the 0-2. Foul ball just past Pools and just foul. Matsui recently inducted into the equivalent of the Hall of Fame here in the States over in Japan, with over 200 hits in his 2,000 hits, in his professional career. This is the Exmo Cam once again by Plaza Tire Service.
See how close that was, but it avoided the bag in foul territory.
In the air out to center. Rasmus on the move. Going back to make the catch on the track.
Pretty smooth on that, didn't he? That ball carried a lot further than you would think. Right towards the end of the bat, and Matsui gives it a ride, and Rasmus just kind of drifted back, reaches up that glove and hauls it in. And no advance by Pedro Feliz.
Plaza Tire Service with the Exmo Cam. So 2 outs, 1-0 lead. And here's the 8th place hitter, Quintero. And you always talk about it, Al, the importance of getting the 8th place hitter with 2 outs and have that pitcher start the next inning off.
You really got to think about the lower third and really dominate against them. But in particular, when you've got that 8th place hitter, you got the pitcher on deck, man on, you just have to will yourself to say, I'm gonna go right through this guy, I'm gonna show him respect, and I'm gonna dominate against him. And then the next inning, I got the pitcher up, I got 1/3 of my outs for the next inning.
A huge gap in the left center between Holiday and Colby Rasmus. They shade Quintero to hit to the opposite way. He's hitting 143.
Cowles is their everyday catcher, but Quintero kind of catches Wandy Rodriguez. If you add their batting average together, for the two of them, it's 200.
Set up outside and just missed off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. New management team with Houston off to a really rough start. 0-6. And those 6 games were at home, and they've got 15 of their first 22 at Minute Maid Park.
I was noting that when you start out 0-6, when you schedule maker does you a favor giving you so many home games, you'd like to take advantage of it.
So they'll hold that runner over at first base. And a walk to the 8th place hitter. So a 2-out walk, and it brings in Rodriguez. First walk issued by Wainwright today. There'll be runners at first and second. And Wandy is 1 for 2 in the young year. Wainwright coming off a start in which he went 7 innings, gave up a couple of runs. There was a home run by Cabrera, a 2-run homer.
Last season, he won the most games in the National League. He had the most innings pitched.
The 0-1 pitch here. 0-2.
Adam was 3rd in the Cy Young Award balloting and actually received the most first place votes.
Trying to make quick work of Rodriguez here, the 0-2. Runners at first and second with 2 outs, and an 0-2 pitch coming to Wandy Rodriguez. Got him. Second strikeout for Adam Wainwright this afternoon. Little help from his defense. Colby Rasmus will lead it off when we come back in a final. This season, our U.S. Cellular text poll. And you can just text your answer. 432-432. We'll have the answer later in the game. Colby Rasmus leads it off for the Cards. Colby off to a great start, hitting .357. Shatters his bat, and he's going to be safe at first. So an error on Jeff Blum, and the leadoff man for the Cardinals is aboard. It's one of those situations where you have to wonder if the bat, even though it doesn't wind up by Blum, but you see that coming at you and you wonder, hey, in the back of your mind, is that the reason why this is misplayed?
It was really weird. It's only about his 36th game at first, but it's well away from Blum. You wonder if he thought he had it, because it would have been a much easier play for him to go back and pick up the ball, throw to the pitcher covering. It's taking advantage of Matsui, isn't it?
Sure is.
He was backing up the play on the edge of the outfield grass.
And watching how he reacted to, like you said, it looked like he said, all right, I got it in my glove, I'll go run to first, and then all of a sudden it's not there. So it's an error on Blum. Here's David Freese. Now, Freese, a rough week as far as defense is concerned. He had 2 errors last night. That's the kind of thing, though, you want to get back out there, you want the ball hit at you, and you want a chance to make a play.
And the only thing we can say, we haven't seen him play that much defense, but every time he's played in the minor leagues, his managers have said he's fine, and some people even classify him as a plus defender. Now, we haven't seen that, but Chris Maloney, his AAA manager, feels that way, and he's seen him play a lot more than we have.
1 ball, 1 strike. And a double play ball. Hit to short. Out at second, on to first, double play. .643 off the bat of David Freese. And after the error by Blum, that's erased. So the double play, there's 2 outs, and that's a look at the Southwest Airline pitcher's chart on Wandy Rodriguez and what he's thrown so far.
More breaking pitches than fastballs. Fastballs were about 44%.
And the first pitch to Brendan Ryan is a strike.
Bears repeating. When I got into pro ball, they said you had to throw 70-75% fastballs.
Nice play by Feliz on the backhand to take a hit away from Brendan Ryan. So after the error, it's a double play, and Feliz the backhanded plays. We head to the third. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by Jack in the Box right now, come try Jack's new fries. You can get a small order free this Friday, April 16th. The Cardinals have a 1-0 lead. Pujols with the RBI. Back to the top of the lineup for Houston and Michael Bourne. and an infield hit, stole a base, and then left stranded in the top of the first. Showing bunt here, and bunts it foul. Certainly you have to respect that speed, and because of that, hitting lanes are open, especially on that left side with David Freese playing in.
Like I say, when many times you see somebody like Michael Bourne, you elevate the ball, make him hit it in the air. He had 3 home runs all last season. Just make sure he hits it to center.
1 ball, 1 strike. Astros, both innings have had runners on, but nothing to show for it. Pujols picked up his RBI by driving in Schumacher, and Michael Bourne is aboard for the second time. He's 2 for 2.
And that's not elevating it. Let's see where this pitch is, but it looks like it's down around the belt. There you see.
Not a bad pitch.
Even though not a bad pitch at all, but it's just that kind of, he's just trying to lob serve it out there. He's only going to put, more than likely it's going to be a single. But whenever he's on base, he can turn it into a double. He's leading the National League in steals a year ago.
Quick move, and they got him. Well, Wainwright showed that quick move the first time he was on. That one just a little bit quicker, and he got him.
See that big lead? We talked about it, and an exceptional athlete. How about the Gold Glove that he won? Not about Wainwright. There he goes. Looked like he was safe. And that's why he's jumps up in protest.
Little pick me up too out there for Wainwright.
Yeah. Gets back here. Hard to tell from that angle where his hand looked, but it looked like Albert got him back the shoulder blade or underneath the arm, and he got to the bag first.
That's Paul Emmel over at first. Brendan Ryan up with it. 2 Albert. 2 outs. We saw last night Chris Carpenter really labored through his start, and the Cardinals were able to get him off the hook, but wasn't overly sharp in his second start of the year.
No, he wasn't. He allowed 2 home runs the first start, 3 home runs last night. He allowed 7 home runs the entire year last year.
And as you said, 5 already in the first week of this season. 2 outs. Breaking ball taken a little bit in by Hunter Pence, the right fielder. All-star year ago with the Houston Astros right here in St. Louis. You start out 0-6. Even though it's the first week of the season, it still is a pretty big hole. 6 games under 500. They're always playing catch-up.
A new manager.
Yeah.
Look at, he's at the major league level for the first time. Now, Brad Mills is a good guy, and I think he'll guide this young team. But they're kind of going into a transition right now.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Reaching forward, Pence. Backhanded by Freese. Strong throw to Pujols. Adam Wainwright is through 3, and he'll lead it off when we come back. Check out the crowd through the Thirst Inning fan cam and see who's enjoying the game. Budweiser, it's what we do. Folks that have just tuned in, curious about the reception for Mark McGwire. I thought it was warm. I thought it was positive.
Well, I think it was very positive. This whole baseball experience is pretty positive, isn't it?
Well, he's just relieved to be back. I talked to him behind the cage today briefly, and he's enjoying it. There's no doubt.
Yes, he is.
You know, and some folks are wondering, well, is he going to be one of those guys that's always in the video room, or are you going to see him? Hey, he's been accessible to anybody. Wainwright, a fly ball out to left. Lee is under it to put it away. And you know Big Mac wants to see them score 6 because that's a serious number. Cardinals score 6. You get a 20-ounce coffee fountain, a frozen drink for just a quarter the next day at On the Run at Mobile. Win or lose, Cardinals score 6. You score 25-cent drinks at On the Run. Skip Schumacher steps in, and let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jim.
Well, you're talking about Mark McGwire and his accessibility to the media. At spring training, he was more available to the media than some of the players, and he's always had the work ethic as a player. And you see him, Dan, when you go to the ballpark, he's one of the first guys at the ballpark to arrive and one of the last guys to leave, and one of the first guys to get to the video room to check out the video.
And Jim, of course, you were down at spring training. Everybody was wondering how this would be, and would it be a huge distraction, and you've seen it. You've seen the national media and the local media. He made himself accessible, and by doing that, this has become somewhat of a non-story.
I saw about 4 or 5 days into spring training, Brian Bartow, the Cardinals head of public relations, said, Big Mac's leaving. Does anyone need him? And for the first time, there was no media stampede. He did all the interviews, whether or not you think he went far enough. He said his piece, and it became a non-story.
And he also talked to the media today, didn't he?
He talked to the media. He talked to me behind the cage as well, and talked about he was looking forward to being back in St. Louis and kind of soaking up the atmosphere for opening day in St. Louis. And he's a guy that just wants to be looked at as a Cardinal coach, not the home run king, not a guy who had some questions in his past, but just a coach, and he's loving what he's doing.
3-2. Thank you, Jim. And Skip Schumacher has singled and scored first time up.
And for people that wonder or question, can he teach non-home run hitters? Well, just ask Schumacher. He's worked with him last 3 winters. He's been a 300 hitter the last 3 seasons.
3-2 on Skip, the Cardinal leadoff man with Ludwig on deck. Little grounder up the middle. Matsui can't get to it. Schumacher is 2 for 2. Going back to McGwire for just a moment, Al. I said, you know, with your wife knowing what it takes as far as the hours and all the time that you'll put in, not just the 6 months of the regular season, but year round, you know, how does she feel about this with 2 young kids? And he said she's the one that came to him and said it's time. Encouraged him to go and do this, to be a part of the organization, to get back in baseball and do something that he loves. And he said for him on a personal level, this is a great situation. He said his grandparents, meaning the kids, grandparents, his wife's mom and dad are from this area. He said so the kids go fishing with Grandpa. He said I go play baseball or at least coach it. He said it's a perfect way to get this back going for him.
And the kids are getting old enough now, they understand what he used to do as a player and what he, time away from them that he's working.
He's so much more relaxed now as a coach.
Well, you just know he's at peace.
So 1 out, and here is Ludwig. He singled to left first time up. And he's in that great position of hitting in front of Albert Pujols. And so many times Tony La Russa has talked about the 2 spot being a power spot in his lineup.
Well, and I think now that Ludwig, and I talked about with Ryan Ludwig, how do you like the second spot? And his eyes just lit up. And he feels very comfortable there, hitting in front of Albert.
1 ball, 1 strike.
too many teams can claim a 2, 3, and 4 hitter like the Cardinals.
There's another base hit. He waited on that pitch, drives it to left, and here we go again. Pujols coming up with 2 runners on.
Kind of a hanging breaking ball. You see a ball, it's a breaking ball, and it ends up belt high. It's usually going to be hit pretty hard.
Cardinals with 5 base hits against Rodriguez. And here's Albert Pujols. One and two in the lineups. Both Houston and St. Louis are now 6 for 8, but yet only 1 run scored. Same scenario that we saw in the first. Pujols launches one into deep left field. Lee is back at the wall. Goodbye. Home run on opening day here at home for Albert Pujols. 3-run homer.
That's all you needed. Albert needed to face Wandy on a home opener where he hits over 400. Already his 5th home run. 4 RBIs here today, giving 14. And we're playing in our 7th game. So what a start to 2010 for the reigning MVP. Matter of fact, he's the last 2 seasons Albert's been the MVP in the National League, and already 3 MVPs in his brilliant young career.
And we get our first curtain call. 4-0 Cardinals. They are 0-6. Now it's a 4-run deficit, and Houston saying, here we go again. And they've got one of their better guys on the mound.
That's right. And Quintero just saw his shoulders slump, but let's look at it again. Never get tired of that. Albert knew that he had a definite shot. Tom Mee with his shot that he made famous. Watching Mark McGwire, that shot of seeing the fan reaction.
This is off the end of the bat. Holiday to short. And the first man retired here in the bottom of the 3rd. Distance of that home run, 391 feet. John Mozeliak was telling us during spring training, I'm excited at the very end of spring because I get to finally see my lineup and my team all together. And boy, what a lineup it is.
Well, Holiday was out, much of that. And then Albert with the back spasms. Late it was Molina.
That's Michael Bourne, his good speed. And that's the 3rd and final out. But Pujols has given the Cardinals a 4-0 lead. A 3-run shot, his first. Back to live action. There's a look at Ryan Ludwig. He puts away the first pitch off the bat of Carlos Lee. So fly ball out to right. That's how we start the fourth.
Set up away, just it's high, but it's high enough just where he gets underneath it for a harmless little pop-up.
Lee is struck out, now flied out. 4-0 Cardinals. Pujols with a 3-run homer, and here's the switch hitting Jeff Blum. Blum flied out to center first time up. So Pujols, another home run, off to a tremendous start. 3 home runs in his last 4 ABs.
Keep that pace.
A liner over Brendan Ryan into left. 4 hits now for Houston. Here's Feliz, who singled back in the second. And the first pitch in there for a strike.
And you look at the Astros, they've had to face some of the best pitching in the National League. And with a great start that Philadelphia playing so many of their games against Washington. They've got a home and away series. And facing also the Astros. They should be off to a good start.
Steven Strasburg made his minor league debut yesterday. Pitched well. At some point you'll see him in the major leagues this year. Here's a ground ball hit left side. Freeze. Second out there. Double play. Pujols stayed on the bag, and Schumacher was able to hang in there. Rough start for their manager. Have a lead of 4-0. The home opener here in 2010. To 0-6 start. Late 80s, Cal Ripken Sr. is replaced by Frank Robinson, the Hall of Famer, as manager of the Orioles. The quick hook. Brad Mills doesn't want to see that. No. It's our Schnooks this date in baseball history. And a strike to Kobe Rasmus.
Not exactly the vote of confidence that manager want to see.
I mentioned that Steven Strasburg, right before the double play, made his debut. Aroldis Chapman also did for Cincinnati, but we probably should mention Shelby Miller for Cardinal fans. He was the first round high school selection from a year ago. He had 4 shutout innings, and he struck out 7.
He pitched a couple games, I think, start a total of 3 innings with 2 starts, and all shutout, as they were just trying to acclimate him last season. But everyone was thrilled to death with him in spring training.
Pitch is popped up. Feliz over. And this will find the dugout. But Brad Thompson, the former Cardinal, if you're wondering, is now with the Kansas City Royals. And at their AAA affiliate, they played the Cardinals affiliate. He gave up 11 hits and 7 runs. He was knocked around in that game. Rick Ankiel is with Kansas City, their center fielder. A walk-off hit. First week of the season at Kauffman Stadium. Time called. Rasmus made a fine play in center field defensively and has reached on an error. Backhanded by Blum. And Colby retired. Let's check in with Jim Hayes. He is with Colby's dad. And Jim, Colby said to me that that gentleman on your right is the biggest influence in his baseball life.
Yeah, I think you're right. From age 5 all the way through high school, Tony Rasmus coached his son. And you were telling me he's about the most coachable young man you ever came across.
Well, there's no doubt. He's always working hard, trying to get better at every aspect of the game.
And this year, obviously, he's off to a great start, but there seems to be more of a comfort level for him. I don't know if it's just getting acclimated with his teammates or life in the big leagues, but do you see it as well?
Well, I think a lot of parts, of his life kind of came together. He's been pressing, trying to feel like he fits in the big leagues, and then, some personal issues outside of the game were also disrupting his play last year, and kind of all those things kind of got settled, and this year he's just out there having fun playing the game.
And at what point did you realize I have a young fella here who could be a major leaguer at some point?
Well, I tell you, he's been, pretty good from the time he was old enough to walk. So we thought we had a chance. He was going to be a really good player way back then. It's just, you never really realize it's going to happen until you actually see it happen.
And I know Colby sometimes bounces some stuff off Big Mac as well.
Well, I tell you what, he hasn't called me any this year. It's been a great relief. Like I said earlier, I get to come to the park and be a dad this year and not worry about trying to fix a swing or whatever. That's Big Mac's job.
Well, we're going to let you enjoy the game and be a dad. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
All right, that's Colby's dad, guys.
All right, Jim, good stuff. Little chopper by Brendan Ryan to Kaz Matsui. 4 innings in the books. Matsui leads it off when we come back. Season 1988, tough year for Baltimore, 21 losses. So Frank Robinson was brought in, but nothing changed.
I was with the Atlanta Braves In '82, when I think we won 13 straight to start the season.
That was a team that went to postseason play. Saw the Cardinals.
Based on, after that good start, and then later on, they survived a tailspin.
Think about the Cardinals in 2006 with the start that they had in the first 2 months, and then just something happened where the team just wasn't as sharp, and then almost gave up that lead at the very end of the regular season. If not for Scott Spezio on a Saturday afternoon against Cordero.
And it was the final weekend, and
yeah,
I think at that point everybody felt like if the season was extended a couple extra days, they wouldn't have qualified. But boy, once they went out to San Diego, got in the postseason, everything started clicking, and they were the best team in the postseason.
Ronnie Belliard made that tremendous play at second base.
We had two guys got healthy. And all of a sudden, for the first time in a while, they had their complete team and they took off.
Ronnie Belliard is now playing for Joe Torre with the Dodgers. Little tapper. Wainwright makes the play. That's one of the reasons he was a Gold Glover a year ago. Visit the official online shop of the Cardinals at Cardinals.com. You can browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel and memorabilia. Cardinals.com. Shop today.
Wainwright had the National League high 56 opportunities without an error. And would you believe that pickoff back in the third inning of Michael Bourne was his first of his major league career?
That does surprise me a little bit. He's got a good move, and we've seen it. You'd think he might get somebody napping over there.
That's what I'm saying.
At one point.
Such a good athlete. But he's 6'7". That usually slows people or don't have those quick feet. That's not the case with him.
He's now 28. Listed at 6'7", 230 pounds. Schumacher gathers and throws. 2 outs. He was All-State in high school. He was a kicker and wide receiver in football. And, of course, All-State in baseball as well when you talk about Adam Wainwright.
Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year his senior year.
We have a special friend watching us today, Al. Adam Carter from Decatur, Illinois. He's 12 years of age. And he was going to visit us on Wednesday. We hope he still will. But Adam Carter is watching today, and we hope you're feeling better, and we hope to see it not on Wednesday, maybe over the weekend or the next homestand.
Hey, Adam, trust me, whatever Dan told you about me, I'm not that bad.
That's why he was scared, I'm telling
that's
you.
what I'm saying, but I'll be nice. I'll be nice on Wednesday, so you come visit us.
That slap the other way and a base hit for Wandy Rodriguez. So Wandy 1 for 2. Well, Michael Bourne has been on a couple of times. Let's take it back to the first. Real close play at first base. Cardinals thought they had him. They didn't, and he was left stranded. Then in the third inning, base hit for Michael Bourne. And then this is that pickoff that you just mentioned. Good speed of Michael Bourne, but yet nothing to show for it. 2 outs and a runner at first. This is what we talk about with hitting lanes being opened up with Bourne at the plate. David Freese is in about 3 steps on the grass, so he can just slap it that way and pick up a base hit.
He's an accomplished bunter, so he can bunt it to the first base side or bunt it hard enough to get by the pitcher. Schumacher's playing relatively deep. Defensively, kind of straight away, bunched a little bit.
You see the arch in the grass that has continued this year after the All-Star game.
The All-Star game, remember they had the courthouse right behind the second base and the outfield grass. That was a really unique touch, but they've maintained the arch, and I am one that really likes it.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Bourne strikes out. That's 3 today for Adam Wainwright. Big bats coming up. It's 4-0. in the home opener here at Busch Stadium. And top of the lineup has done some damage here this afternoon. Schumacher and Ludwig, those two have gone 4 for 4. Pujols with a single RBI. And then the big blast in the third inning. Those two again would get on front of Albert Pujols, get on base, and goodbye. Albert would take one deep, and here's Adam Wainwright. So Pujols with the 4 RBIs already this afternoon.
Ho-hum.
Typical Albert. He really is the extension of the coaching staff when you talk about hitting, especially with Yadier Molina and how he helps him out. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cubs have won their ball game today. They beat Milwaukee 9-5. That's now a final.
The one thing is Albert, who really has struggled against Wandy Rodriguez, must have figured out something with his 3 for 3. Looked like they were talking about where they're holding their hands.
Remember how much Molina used to switch his stance when he first came up, and you don't see that as much anymore.
Well, he and Albert are such good friends, and it seems like he's trying to emulate Albert or find one at bat and stick with it. Makes sense.
So leadoff walk, and a look at the top of that lineup. 6 for 6. Schumacher, Ludwig, and Pujols. So here's Skip Schumacher. 2 runs scored, 2 singles, 2 for 2. Will play behind Wainwright. Wandy Rodriguez is 31 years of age. As Schumacher will sacrifice here, they'll go to second, and they just got him. Took a chance, and it paid off. Fireworks night is back at Busch Stadium. And it'll be this Friday. Celebrate the start of the Cardinals season by watching a display of fireworks from the comfort of your seat. So that is back for the first time in quite some time. And for tickets, visit us online at Cardinals.com. Also, it's the beginning of kids opening weekend, so kids 15 and under will get a ticket to an upcoming game this season.
Yeah, that's a great promotion right there. Assume a ticket voucher for a future game.
Here's Ludwig. 2 for 2 this afternoon, and looking for his first home run of the season. We've seen that the Cardinals early in the counts, and in particular with Ludwig, they've been aggressive. And that has helped out Ludwig this afternoon at the tune of 2 hits.
Wilton Lopez, the right-hander, getting loose in the bullpen for the Astros.
Mentioned that Rodriguez just turned 31, a product of the Astros Dominican Academy.
He's won at least 9 games all 5 years he's been in the big leagues.
Last year he was the Astros pitcher of the year. Ludwig pulls it foul out in front. We haven't seen that breaking ball of Rodriguez as sharp today as we have in the past.
A little more of a roller, and he's elevated it more often than not. And you know, one thing too is he tried to get inside on Ludwig, but he just hadn't thrown inside as much as we normally see him, to keep you honest. And he's always left a lot of balls out over the plate.
1-2 the count. Pujols on deck. Count even 2-2.
It's 87 miles an hour. Is not going to fool too many.
Short lead at first by Schumacher. Full count. This is one of those situations, if you're Tony La Russa, say, well, you're up by 4, you push the envelope a little bit and start the runner. You do, though, run the risk of a swing and miss double play with a chance of Pujols to do more damage.
That's one thing Ludwig does, strike out frequently. And could have the possibility of strike him out, he'd be safe, and they leave first base open.
Out to left, base hit. Ludwig is 3 for 3 in the opener. And here comes Albert. Now, Ludwig, and just watching him out, is keeping his weight back enough where he's driving the ball. He's not out in front like we saw him in the first week.
It's a breaking ball, but see how it's got a little hump in him. Leaves it out over the plate. He's such a streaky hitter. But I think in that 2-hole, he's very relaxed. He's looking forward to that.
Wandy Rodriguez, a 14-game winner in 33 starts last year. Coming off a season of career highs in wins, innings, and strikeouts, but on the ropes here in the 5th, trailing by 4. Now Pujols digging in. Runners at first and second. Up and into Pujols. Matt Holliday is on deck. Holliday is 0 for 2. Pujols with 4 RBIs on the day, 2 for 2. The shadows becoming a factor at the plate. Two and 0.
3 o'clock starts. You mentioned those shadows, but the 4-0 lead, you really don't mind so much. Progressively get worse.
A 2-0 pitch. 3-0. As Al told you a moment ago, there is activity in the Houston bullpen. 3-0, turn them loose.
That's one of the things also, Dan, that's been tough for the Astros. Their starters aren't going very deep into games. A lot of burden on the bullpen.
3 balls, 1 strike. Protection behind Pujols. Matt Holliday. 3-1 the count on the Cardinals slugger. Outside, bases loaded. 1 out from Matt Holliday. Second walk in the inning issued by Wandy Rodriguez. We're in the home stretch for the 2010 census. Not too late. Fill it out. Fill back your census form today. So 2 walks in the game, and both in this inning.
At Orangeburg, there's Brad Mills right there, the manager. And no surprise that he's going to make a pitching change right now, as he's controlled this part of the order.
on Wednesday, 6:30, right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Brad Penny gets that start. It's our Budweiser. What's on tap? There's a look at Keith Tkachuk, who will call St. Louis home. He is officially retired. He'll have a press conference that is open to the public, by the way, tomorrow. And, of course, we're your home of the St. Louis Blues as well. But a press conference tomorrow as he sits behind home plate. He's got season tickets here with the Cardinals. What a great career, and I think a future Hall of Famer and a great guy, Keith Tkachuk. Wilton Lopez is our Chevy called to the bullpen. Originally signed with the Yankees as an 18-year-old back in 2002 from Nicaragua. And he's had one appearance, and it was rough.
Yeah, he's one of only 8 players or 8 pitchers from Nicaragua to appear at the major league level. Had a couple, he had 8 appearances last year, and this is his 2nd appearance this year.
Bases loaded for Matt Holliday. 4-0 Cardinals. As he slings it up there. Inning started with a walk to Wainwright. He was erased on a force play at second. So Schumacher, Ludwig the base hit, Pujols the walk, and now you get Matt Holliday. 4 grand slams in his career. The 1-0 pitch off his foot.
So many of these Latin pitchers, and it's such an accurate description. And you talk about how they sling the ball up there.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Holliday. Ground ball left side. Feliz will step on the bag over to first. Double play. 5-3 on the double play. Baseball today on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Lumiere Casino. If the Cardinals win the next day, Lumiere Place is giving away free $10 to play your favorite game with. LumierePlace.com for details. And by AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Home opener for the Cardinals, and the first pitch is taken for a ball.
Matt Pagnazzi almost was called up when they were worried about LaRue.
Good tailing action in on the hands of Manzella, and Rasmus won't get to it. So it's a base hit. We'll send our condolences out to the Bill Brown family. Recently lost a battle with cancer. Really big Cardinal fan, and our thoughts and prayers with his family. He was a coach at Cahokia for 30 years. Good effort there from Rasmus.
Ball just kept on eluding him as he came in, and a couple infielders out giving chase.
Initially, I thought that was going to be routine.
I do too.
You know, Pujols now has been walked 4 times, and Holiday is 0 for 4 following those walks as he bounced into the double play to end the inning. The Astros, with 1 walk today, now have just 6 this year total as a team. There it is again. Wainwright consistently pounding the outside portion of the strike zone when you talk about Hunter Pence.
You mentioned he all-star last year. He's had back-to-back seasons. First time the Astros right fielders had back-to-back 25 home runs or more seasons. Right now he's in a funk.
Here's a ground ball, foul. One of the good stories so far first week is Jaime Garcia. That's Felipe Lopez on the right. Garcia is on the left. First time in about 4 years the Cardinals have had a lefty starter pick up a win. Remember Randy Kiesler? He was one of those guys that had a shot.
Oh,
Mike
yeah.
Maroth, who the Cardinals picked up.
Up a #1 draft pick for Maroth, who just had a real tough time.
In the air out to left center. Rasmus makes the catch on the run. So line out off the bat of Hunter Pence. Cardinal fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make. It's on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. And you'll find great seats and great service on StubHub all season. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. Year 4 of a 6-year deal for Carlos Lee.
Big deal for a guy that's always a big RBI machine.
I wonder if a team gets off to such a poor start, which could happen for Houston first month and a half. If a team is looking for a bat, if you're Houston and you're kind of rebuilding, if you say, well, this might be a guy that's a chip out there that we can throw.
Very good point. It's just right now there are a lot of clubs early would have a hard time finding that kind of salary.
And that is the problem. He does make a lot of money, but if he's right, he also gives you a lot of production too.
It's a $100 million contract. And what, in year 4, so you're inheriting quite a bit. You'll end up probably in another 100 RBIs, but
two and two.
Not really noted as an outfielder. See, from the sun into the shade, and tough to pick up.
There's that breaking ball again, and a strikeout of Carlos Lee. Third strikeout. Check that. 4th strikeout for Wainwright. And let's go to Fox Tracks.
Set up away, the breaking ball down and away. Good location. You get somebody to swing at a pitch that's well off the plate. Not going to make much contact, are they?
No. That's how he's gotten both Pence and Lee with that breaking ball. Breaks out of the zone. Here's Blum, who is 1 for 2. So again, the shadows playing a part with the 3 o'clock start.
Well, you can, and look at here when you see in about a little, well, half hour or so, be in the sunlight to the shade, back in the sunlight.
This is popped up, but that'll find the seats out of play.
And look at right there. You see where about a half hour or so, the shadows will keep on creeping out towards the mound. Nice sunny day there. That gives you a little idea of how dark it is if you're standing at the plate. both sides are contending with that same lighting effect.
2-1 the count. Houston was 30-51 away from Minute Maid Park a year ago. This is popped up, freeze, foul territory, makes the catch. Molina leads it off when we come back. .6%. And today Wainwright has struck out 4.
Over 200 strikeouts a year ago to lead the staff. And boy, look at how he's getting guys to reach, balls down.
And Yadier Molina will lead it off for the Cardinals. When you think of Wainwright, at least for me, Al, I always think the big breaking ball, and it's one of the best in the game.
But I think he's really learned to take it to the next level, or he will as this season goes along. He's got the cutter now. He's got that fastball. Doesn't throw as hard as what he once did. He's working on the changeup.
Remember, he got hurt a couple of years ago, and when he came back, he said one of the things that he tried to develop was a changeup, and it was a finger injury that he had.
It was a finger injury, and during that time off, you know, he kind of felt like he developed a changeup.
There's a chopper to Pedro Feliz, who can take his time. And Molina is 0 for 3. But Wainwright now is in that category that you talk about of an Oswalt, Tim Lincecum, and Holiday, and all these different guys that are considered the aces of their league. And I think Wainwright's certainly in that conversation now.
Well, you know, it's probably the best, or just as good as anybody's 1-2 punch when Carpenter and Wainwright are on. Brad Penny could be a real key if he pitches anything like he did in Cincinnati. Loesch, we know, has the potential, but I'm telling you what, Jaime Garcia is a work in progress, but there is a lot there to work with, and he's not going to embarrass himself at all.
You just saw Dave Duncan, and there's Jaime Garcia. I want to go back to Brad Penny, and I was talking to some folks before the game today, and they feel that even Dave Duncan early on has had an influence on Brad Penny. And the fact that his delivery is a lot more fluid, he seems to have slowed down a little bit. He's not trying to just overthrow and power and pass people, but you know, they talked about the splitters and the curves that he was throwing in that start against Cincinnati, especially early in the count, which historically he didn't do.
Right. You know, a lot of times you use it as a put-away pitch, but if you can throw it and get ahead with people, then throw your fastball and come back and have that as a weapon later too, you're well ahead of the game.
It's Lopez's first walk, and here's David Freese.
And that's another walk to Kobe Rasmus, who leads the National League in that department.
He's got 9 walks, and his on-base percentage is close to .600. We've talked about his speed and maybe being a 2020 man, possibly this year.
That'll probably be the last thing that he develops, especially with this club. We just don't run much.
No. So 1 out and a runner at first.
Now you kind of see how tough it is. Pitcher's in the sun, and you have that void in the shadow, and now the hitter is sort of standing in the sun.
Runner goes. That's Rasmus. Throw to second. And he's out by 2 steps. Wasn't even close.
It's having speed doesn't equate to having base running skills. I mean, it just takes a while, and he was out by so far. He tried to alter his motion into second base.
And that's fouled back by David Freese. Mentioned what a thrill it was for David last year. His first opening day with the Cardinals, and now here he is, the starter at third base. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We were talking about earlier, we thought this was one of the better opening days, and St. Louis Cardinals are acknowledged of having the best opening day of all teams.
Just all the Hall of Famers, the living Hall of Famers that are here. Clydesdales, the fans. And you add in the weather, that's a nice touch. Weather makes it awfully nice. Of course, we have one of the best seats in the house. Big dog to our left. Tim Garcia is back again. Oh, goody. 2-2.
Still trying to figure out what he does up here, but
ooh, just missed inside to Freese. It's a work in progress, as you mentioned, with Houston. It's a work in progress with their bullpen, too, trying to figure out what they have out there. Brandon Lyon, they signed him to a 3-year deal, $15 million. As Freese goes down the right field line, and that's a fair ball and hops over the wall for a ground rule double. They also have a hard thrower in Matt Lidstrom. You might remember him with the Florida Marlins.
Bob Gibson always said, you know, you can reach further out when you just throw your rear end. You just kind of go out there and throw your hands out. Your rear end kind of reaches out there. If you swing upright, you know, you don't get its full extension. It wasn't pretty, but it sure looks nice sitting out at second base with a ground rule double.
And it brings in the 8th place hitter, Brendan Ryan, with Wainwright on deck. Now, Brendan has grounded out to third. He's also grounded to second. He was telling me before the game, he said, I'm close. I'm getting there. I'm very close to having a bust-out game with the bat. Brendan started the season 1 for 15 with 6 strikeouts.
Well, you know, he's worked hard with Mark McGwire, but working and what they're trying to do in the cage, and then when you get a little excited and you get in a game, and then he gets pull conscious.
And he is best, he'll tell you, going to right center.
I remember he wants to get the ball back in on him and drive the ball. Well, he's a little too anxious, and so he's out in front.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Now, McGwire says he's been taking notes on every pitch, every at bat. And he says he doesn't watch the pitcher at all. All he does is from that viewpoint that you see on the right, he wants to see if Brendan Ryan is lunging. He's transferred his weight already. Are guys staying back? Are they balanced? Two and two. And Brendan was saying he felt like he was in between.
Yes.
In the series against Cincinnati.
It's almost like he's not, doesn't have that center of gravity. He's a little bit out in front. Everything's kind of moving a little bit before it should. Moving forward to make contact, you pull off the pitches and roll over on them. McGuire, a home run hitter, is a big proponent of going up the middle and to the opposite field.
A 2-2 pitch. And to find the seats and out of play. That's a good example there where he was out in front a little bit.
Exactly right.
And a pitch on the outside corner, he could have taken it right.
How do you like to hit now? Things white. Oh, baseball, and then it disappears, and then it gets bright again right on top of you.
2-2 pitch. On the air Wednesday night at 6:30. Brad Penny gets that start for the Cardinals. Another 2-2 pitch to Brendan Ryan. And a swing and a miss. First strikeout for Lopez. We played 6. Cardinals lead it by 4. Opening day home opener for the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright has not allowed a Houston run in his last 16 innings of work. That dates back to last year, obviously.
6 hits in this game, but all of them have been singles.
This is Pedro Feliz. Ground ball hit to short. Brendan Ryan over to Pujols for the first out. Fireworks night back on Friday. Mets will be here, celebrate the start of the 2010 Cardinals season with Fireworks night. And again on the 16th, 17th, and 18th. That is kids opening weekend this weekend. Kids 15 and under get a free ticket. With the banner that will celebrate the Gold Gloves of Wainwright and Molina on Saturday. Sunday, Matt Holliday Jersey Day. Kaz Matsui looks at a strike. Matsui is 0 for 2. Wainwright now, good rhythm, working very quickly. He's set down the last 4 he's seen. Trying to backdoor that breaking ball. On the outside corner, strikeout number 5. So 5 strikeouts.
The game, you see how he takes that finger off his breaking pitch. Curveball there. And actually removes his index finger. All the video they see, it seems like some of you try to zone in on that, and they don't pick it up.
Back to Wainwright. Quintero retired. Here the home opener. Wainwright is rolling, and it's time to stretch. Dealers, entry forms and entry boxes are at Hyundai dealers now, and we'll draw our first qualifying winners very soon, so good luck and register. 4-0 Cardinals, the home opener as we move to the bottom of the 7th. Albert Pujols with a home run today, now at 371 home runs in his career, which passes him for Eddie Matthews for the most home runs in the first 10 years of a career. Didn't take long, did it?
Add another year, and that just changed places with people at the top of the list.
And here is Wainwright.
Lopez has done a nice job in his inning in 2/3.
Wainwright has struck out 5 today. And at the plate, he has walked and also flied out to left. 0 for 1. No Jose Valverde in the back end of games for Houston. He signed as a free agent with Detroit. former closer.
Pitcher spots due up first, so
Burdack is their lone lefty. He's getting loose in the pen along with Sampson, Chris Sampson, Tim Burdack. There's a rope down the left field line, and that's a fair ball into the corner. Adam Wainwright, the great athlete that he is, with a leadoff double.
there's 5 career home runs, and make a mistake to it, it'll make you pay. So rifles this ball down in the left field line. Carlos Lee plays it perfectly, and not before the double, and that's it for Lopez. One thing Brad Mills may have to watch out is how frequently he goes to his bullpen.
And he'll bring in the lefty, Burdack, to face Schumacher when we come back. Fill out and mail back your census form today. New pitcher in for Houston, Tim Burdack, following the leadoff double by Adam Wainwright. And you go to your bullpen here, and it's a Chevy call to the bullpen, and now might be a situation where you bring in the lefty and Skip Schumacher may be bunting anyway. And you could waste him here.
Yeah. And you know, they've just been going to the bullpen quite a bit, and it's a good way to wear them down and wear them out.
Wandy Rodriguez, by the way, only threw 65 pitches and was lifted in the game. The starter.
That's what I'm saying, you know. Coming in today's action, the starters threw 31 2/3, and the relievers 22 1/3.
Tim Burdack is one of 4 Rice graduates to play for the Astros. Schumacher, Burdack will go to third and out again. And Skip twice has tried to bunt Wainwright over, and twice he's not been able to do it.
Bunts it back. Pitcher gets him. You know, for the left-hander, that ball's real easy for him to field it and throw him out. And of course, you have the tag play, and they execute it perfectly.
It looks like we'll have a double switch here. So Burdack comes in, throws 1 pitch to get Schumacher. And this will be a double switch for the Astros. of Channelview, Texas. Interesting story. The new battery, because of the double switch, J.R. Tolles and Chris Sampson. And back in 1999, Sampson was a shortstop in Class A. Then he retired, and a few years later, he was serving as an assistant coach at a community college in Plano, Texas. And he was used as an inter-squad pitcher. He struck out 5 of 6, and on that team, one of the guys he coached was J.R. Tolles. And here they are in the major leagues.
We were talking about, you could burn your bullpen, and Sampson is now appearing in his 5th game out of 7.
And Burdack, the same thing. But you figure with a situational lefty that might happen, not with a guy like Sampson. So Rodriguez started, then Lopez, Burdack, and now Sampson. Here's Ludwig trying to make it a 4-hit day. Pujols on deck. He's been on base 3 times. 1 out, runner at first. Cardinals lead it 4-0. They've out-hit Houston 9-6. Just joined us, Albert Pujols with all 4 RBIs as he hit a 3-run homer back in the 3rd. RBI single in the 1st. Sampson is 6'1", 200 pounds, and a 31-year-old.
We're going to see Kobe Rasmus pretty close to Mark McGwire all season long.
Outside, 2-0.
Remember how Kobe's dad was talking about he can be a father this year, doesn't have to coach.
Kobe was telling me that his dad, from the time he could remember, made him do everything left-handed to learn to throw that way. As Ludwig pops it up, and that'll find the seats and out of play.
It's called the pension plan.
Left-handed, right?
You're right. $46,918 today.
46918. This is the largest regular season crowd in this stadium's history. 46,918. That's fouled back. Of course, the Cardinals opened this up in 2006, won the World Series that year. That's the last time that they've won a home opener.
Something we're all a little sensitive to. We pay so much attention about McGwire, but we do not want to leave the impression that Hal McRae wasn't an excellent hitting coach, and he worked extremely hard. He was right there for everybody also. But we know Tony and his preference with his guys, and at the end of the season last month, guys started expanding their zone a little bit. Guys weren't taking walks, and Tony decided to make a change. So, but Al McRae was an excellent hitting coach.
Up and into Ludwig, 3-2. I know that's your former teammate, good buddy of yours,
sure.
Al McRae, and I've not heard if he had signed on with the team anywhere.
I have not either.
I know his one son is working as a video coach, and Brian McRae, the former major leaguer, is working as a broadcaster. I believe that's with the Royals. Ludwig pops it up right side again. Plum is over and runs out of room into that Cardinal dugout. Now, he could have made that catch on the steps, if you're wondering. That would have been an out.
St. Louis's finest was down there to accuse him of trespassing.
3-2 the count. Ludwig in the air out to deep center field. Bourne is on the move. He's at the track, and it's off the wall. Schumacher being waved in. Ludwig on his way to third with a triple to make it 5-0.
Michael Bourne hit that wall very hard, and not sure if he didn't stun himself as he hit his knee or something in there, but
or his shoulder.
We've had some collisions with this
the walls here at the new Busch Stadium 3.
Great effort out there by the Gold Glove winner from a season ago, and he almost came up with it.
He was looking over his shoulder, and he didn't really realize how close he was. Then he banged into it. With his shoulder, his left knee. He says he's okay.
So a triple for Ludwig. And the infield is drawn in for Albert Pujols, trying to make it a 5 RBI day, if not 6.
Still remember the day you saw the third baseman in with Mark McGwire hitting.
Here's a ground ball chopped to short, and Pujols is retired.
And Dan, that scared you, and I said, well, you look at the pitcher, he's 20 feet in front of the third baseman. You never think of that, do you?
You don't. Josh Beckett actually the other night took one off the back of his head. Pitcher for the Red Sox. So 4-hit day for Ludwig, and here's Holiday. He's been quiet. 0 for 3, grounded into a double play.
Quiet at 379 with 3 home runs and 6 RBIs.
Holiday's 6-game hitting streak on the line. Twice he has grounded to short, the other time to third. Came up with the bases loaded that time. Pitch misses in. Ryan Ludwig started today at 143, and now his average has jumped to 280 with the 4 hits. A 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Yadier Molina on deck. Now, if you go back to last season, Holiday's hit streak is at 10 games. 3-0 pitch. 3-1. Isn't that amazing how many times you hear about position players or outfielders that turn into pitchers? Just trying to find a way to stay around.
A lot of guys just don't have that wear and tear on their arm, at such a young age. They're not afraid if they're walking.
And that's ball 4 to Holiday. Cardinals have received 4 walks this afternoon. This Saturday, all fans ages 15 and under receive a collectible Cardinals pennant. Features Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright, courtesy of Coca-Cola and the Pasta House. Number to call for tickets, 314-345-9000. And again, kids 15 and under get a free ticket for a later game. Runners at the corners. 2 down for Molina. Fly to left. He's lined out to center and grounded out to third. Outfield is shallow. The first pitch is taken low and away. I still think when you pitch Molina outside, you just do him a favor because he'll serve it up to right. And he's done that so many times, as we've seen.
Very easy to take that pitch and go with it. And that's one of his strengths, hitting the opposite field.
Two outs, 2 on. 5-0 Cardinals. Getting started with a double by Wainwright. So the RBI triple by Ludwig. Walk to Holiday. First and third, and a 2-0 pitch. Good cut. By the way, that was Holiday's first walk of the season, which may surprise you a bit. Surprised me.
Yeah. Batting champion. A 3-time Silver Slugger.
Take a look at Fox Tracks with this pitch on 2-1.
Set up away.
Little chopper hit to short. Across the diamond they'll go. Low throw taken there by Jeff Plum. We played 7. The home opener here at Busch Stadium. And it's a 5-0 Cardinals lead. For the home opener here in St. Louis, and the Cardinals have not disappointed. They lead it by 5 runs. And Adam Wainwright pitching into the 8th inning, which is part of a double switch. So J.R. Tolles is your leadoff man. Now in the 9th position in the lineup for Houston.
And he has struggled. He had a career night against the Cardinals in his rookie season. He franchised like 7 RBIs.
I believe it was 8. It was in 2007. Yeah, 8 RBIs. That was the most for a rookie. James Loney had a 9 RBI game in 2006 as Tolles hits it out of play. Came up with Houston in 07. Those 14 games he had 375. And then in 2008 he only had 137. Last year in 16 games he hit 188. Love his defense, but offense has been a struggle. Reaches for it, slowly hit, Pujols over, covering Wainwright at the bag for the out. So the first man retired, and it brings in the center fielder Michael Bourne. Bourne almost came up with that ball off the bat of Ludwig in the bottom of the 7th, that triple. And no surprise to see Pujols ranging to his right, something we've grown accustomed to with his play at first base.
He just further than anybody we've ever seen, and way off the line even with a left-handed batter right now.
Look where David Freese is. He's not guarding the line, but he's very close to that line and still so many steps in. The only ball he's going to get to is one that's hit right at him.
That's about it. Now he'll back up with 2 strikes.
Still even with the bag at third. Curveball tied him up, did not go. Wainwright, if you're wondering, has struck out 5.
Jason Mott is warming up behind him. You see a 100 pitch count right now, but he's in a mental countdown. 8th innings, already 1 out, and he's going 5 left.
On the outside corner, make that 6 strikeouts for Wainwright.
Make it 4 left.
Let's go pitch by pitch with 2 outs. And this is their leadoff man, Michael Bourne. This is brought to you by Chevrolet.
Star ball out there, then a backdoor breaking ball. Now he'll come inside. And then back away, and see you later.
Tommy Manzella is the hitter. Manzella, second spot in their lineup, is grounded back to Wainwright, grounded out to short, and also single. Trying to think along here with Tony La Russa. If he gets an easy out here, how tempted would you be to bring him back out there on opening day and pitching a shutout?
I think you have to remember it's still early, but with Tony in the back of his mind, what was it when he was looking for number 20? He had a 6-0 lead, and that game disappeared, and he was denied winning 20 games last year. Still had the most wins in the National League, but
strikeout for Wainwright, 7 this afternoon.
Only his 2nd start of the year.
So 2 strikeouts in the inning, 7 in the game. Let's take a look at our Hardy's prime cut of the game. Albert Pujols has 4 RBIs, 3 of those coming on one swing of the bat as he crushed a home run against Wandy Rodriguez.
5 home runs, 14 RBIs now, off to a tremendous start.
Kobe Rasmus will lead it off for the Cardinals against Sampson here in the bottom of the 8th. 5-0 lead. Rasmus, a couple of hops to second. Matsui with it. It looked like, just guessing here, that the Cardinals had told Adam Wainwright that his day was through.
I think it makes probably the most sense. Yet he doesn't look like he's gone in to go change shirts or anything. But Mott looked like took a little breather before he'll continue to warm.
Looking ahead to the 9th, it'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Astros. And here's a look at David Freese. Freese, base hit, left center. 2-hit day for David Freese. Last time that Wainwright saw the Astros, 8 innings, 3 hits, and a shutout. And that's what he's got going today. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. So Freese is 2 for 4, and here's Brendan Ryan looking for his first base hit. Sampson pitching in his 2nd inning of work. Wandy Rodriguez, 65 pitches, their starter. He was lifted. Then Lopez came in. Burdack pitched a 1/3 of an inning, and now Sampson. Short lead at first for David Freese. Little chopper by Brendan. Out at second and safe at first. Tolles is backing up the play. Brendan Ryan on his way to second and in there.
Now the ball he pulls. There they get the force out by Matsui, but Blum just flat out misses that one. I mean, it was a low throw, but it didn't bounce in the dirt. Oh, an E4, but that has to be caught by the first baseman.
It's a second error charged to Houston. The other one was on Blum. We mentioned how he's playing out of position to an extent. And here is Nick Stavanoa, who's 1 for 3, and that one hit was a home run. And a huge hit in the first week of the season of the outstanding closer, Trevor Hoffman.
You know, I went in and saw that afterwards. Mark McGuire was talking about, I've never seen a home run with a guy one knee on the ground. He said, I like it. As eventually a game winner for the future Hall of Famer, Trevor Hoffman. Well, outstanding performance by Wainwright. 8 shutout innings, 6 hits allowed. All 6 of them were singles. Walks 1, strikes out 7.
My understanding is the emergency catcher, which is Stavanoa, now you have to have another one because LaRue is out, would be David Freese.
That would make sense.
But they would put him behind the plate, so you're using Stavanoa here. And again, LaRue out for today with that sore hamstring.
Well, you really don't have to go and force to make a move because Molina is so durable. Well, remember, he did miss the last 2 weeks of spring training.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Stavanoa is from Houston, so you know he would like to do well against his hometown.
And a swing and a miss. Stavanoa strikes out, and that sends us to the 9th with the Cardinals leading 5-0.
Up after the game on the post-game edition of Cardinals Live. A productive day for the top of the lineup. Waino breaks off a little something, and we'll have a look at home openers past. Pep Harris and Rick Horton standing by with that. For now, it's back to the booth and Dan and Al, guys.
Jim, great job. It's opening day, the home opener here in St. Louis. And the Cardinals have a 5-0 lead as we move to the top of the ninth. And Hunter Pence will lead it off. And again, what a great outing by Adam Wainwright again today.
I did a great job of handling this part of the order. Pence 0 for 3. And same thing with Carlos Lee, 0 for 3. Without Berkman, this team doesn't look like it has a lot of offensive firepower. You know, one day is going to make that statement prove to be wrong, but
1 ball, 1 strike. Hunter Pence is flied out to right, grounded out to third, and also lined out to center. Fastball in there for a strike. 1-2. Cardinals have given up 2 walk-off home runs, one to Milwaukee, the other to Cincinnati. And that one was allowed by Jason Mott.
Mott was made of the fact that he threw 5-6 straight fastballs, but it was the location on the last one that got him beat. He's still trying to work in his breaking pitches.
There's a look at the numbers for Mott. And of course, in that opening series against the Cincinnati, the bullpen struggled, but much better numbers wise over the weekend against Milwaukee.
Saturday, Mott threw a perfect inning.
Almost held on to by Molina. 1-2 is the count.
This little slider at 87 miles an hour.
Dusty Baker was saying after that game, Johnny Gomes hit the home run. He said, I was really surprised to see that Mott went with another fastball, and that was 6 in a row that he had thrown to Gomes. Then he finally connected and hit the home run. Here's a ground ball and a base hit as Schumacher was positioned up the middle, and the leadoff man is on. So 2 series and 2 different stories with this bullpen. Against Cincinnati, 6 1/3, an ERA that was over 7, and then against Milwaukee, 9 1/3, .96 ERA, and the Brewers only hit 161 against him. I'll ask you, as they had Schumacher positioned up the middle, as a pitcher, would that drive you nuts, all the different shifts and whatnot that teams now use in baseball?
I'm not saying it'd be drive me crazy, but there are times that W or that L goes behind my name, I may want to move the guy and say, well, that's what your chart show, but in my mind, I know the guy hits always here.
And Lee fouls it back. No balls and 2 strikes, and he's had a tough afternoon with a couple of strikeouts. He's also flied out to right.
I will also say that probably was a little more accepted when I played, but not with Tony La Russa's staff.
And normally those charts don't lie with what Dave Duncan has. He's kept those over the years.
What you have to do is you have to make sure that you colorize it.
Here's a double play ball. Freeze. Schumacher. Albert, double play. Outstanding turn there by Schumacher.
He's gotten better and better, and he's fearless at second base. That's one of the part of the equation.
Our great player of the game presented by Budweiser, Adam Wainwright, had a couple of hits to go along with that outstanding line on the mound. Houston down to their final outs, and it's Jeff Blum, who's 1 for 3. Strike on the outside corner.
Just cap off a perfect day with a shutout here, a combined shutout.
In the air, out to left. Holiday makes the catch, and the Cardinals win the home opener, 5-0. Big day for Albert. And his 4 RBIs, 3-run homer. Ludwig with 4 base hits. And the Cardinals take the home opener 5-0 over Houston.